Okay, Chief, this looks like a kind of complicated fire.
It was a difficult fire. We arrived on scene, engine crew, the first engine arrived on scene, had smoke showing from, looked like an extension add-on behind the residential mobile home. It was a metal frame, basically building, which was one of 5 phases the homeowner had built. They made an initial defensive attack through the doors, trying to get a knockdown. It was a 2-man crew. Got a tanker en route here for water supply. Crews called for mutual aid for Kilgore Fire for engine, crew, and tanker. They provided 2 engines and tanker. We got on scene. We went interior because the fire was starting to breach the mobile home from the rear structures. We wanted to focus on trying to save that residential structure. They made an aggressive interior attack into the back right bedroom. And we're able to get a knockdown through the ceiling and stop it from extending into the residential home. We still had a lot of add-ons in the rear. Combined total square foot is estimated 6,730 square foot combined. The rear, about 1,800 square foot of that is the mobile home. The rest is all exterior building add-ons. All of those structures in the rear were full from floor to ceiling with what the homeowner said was antiques, Legos, historic Lego figures, and Barbie dolls and stuff like that he sold online and shipped out, and those things. But so the fire between the add-ons with the buildings, they had exterior walls, and then when they added on another one, they put another exterior wall, so we had void spaces between the exterior add-ons, and then high fire load inside. The content level inside prevented us from getting inside interior to get water on the fire. So when we got our initial knockdown, the fire was in those void spaces, and with manpower and fire load, content load inside the structure, we could not get to it. So the fire grew faster than we could get water on it. We requested additional manpower from Elderville for water supply. Smith County ESD2 has arrived on scene. They're helping us with, we're basically defensive here now. Longview Fire's on scene, so we got a lot of resources. It's taking a lot of mutual aid, a lot of manpower. 6,700 square foot, with 5,000 square foot of it stacked floor to ceiling. It's a lot of fire load, a lot of water, a lot of manpower, but we've got it knocked down now. It's contained. Total loss for everything in the rear, but the resident here with some repair will still have somewhere that he could can live. Doesn't have insurance on the property, so it is repairable. So from that extent, we're blessed that we were able to do that. So
that's kind of the main thing. I mean, you were able to save the main structure.
Yeah, that was our focus here. We knew when we opened up those exterior buildings that we couldn't get through the buildings to get into the interior walls. We were stuck at the doors. So for safety and fire load, we just couldn't get in there. So we transitioned focus for protecting the primary exposure, which was the residential structure that we could get through. So we went through the front door and created basically a hose line, defensive fire line inside the structure. So inside that residential home.
It looks like, no fire hydrants nearby.
No. So we had to shuttle. It's probably about a mile. I don't have estimates on how much water we've used, but we've used a lot. We're going to try to calculate that in the end, just through dispatch. But we had a Sabine fire tanker. We had, I think, 3 tankers from Elderville. We had a tanker from Kilgore, and we've just been constant water shuttle from transition from ground monitor to hand lines and that stuff. So it's been a big process, a lot of resources, a lot of manpower, a lot of teamwork.
Yeah, and you put up a little tank out here, I guess.
Yes, yeah, we did deploy a dump tank, so the tankers could do a water shuttle and just do a dump valve dump and roll versus trying to pump into an engine. It's faster, it's a more reliable, quicker water source when you're trying to shuttle water. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that way you can just keep it full and tankers can keep it.
Yeah, the engine just drafts right out of that, pumps to the secondary engine, pulls draft from the dump tank, provides water to the primary engine. So that's the best way to do it in a rural community like like this. So, you know, a nearest hydrant is, you know, a half a mile. So, you know, we're limited. When you got this much fire load and limited water supply, you got most of the time take a defensive stance. So unless you can get there quick and get a quick water on it, water on fire quickly.
I guess you know, you mentioned he doesn't have insurance. I guess he's just
Yeah. I asked him if he had insurance or needed anything, and you know, we're going to contact the American Red Cross to see if he has they can help him with a place to stay. I think he does have some other rental property that he said he may be able to, you know, utilize and move into. Yes, it's an unfortunate situation when you have that much you know, interior property or interior content that you're really, I guess, making a living off of, you know, online sales and stuff like that, and you're not able to insure it for whatever reason that is. Yeah, it's a total loss. So, you know, you start from scratch. So yeah, he's in an unfortunate spot. We did everything we could, and you know, I wish him the best for sure. We'll do everything we can from our operations side and the fire service side with making contacts with, you know, other resources to help him. You know, it's the best we can do.
I guess the voids in the walls, they didn't help, right?
No.
What can happen with that?
Yeah. So when you have if you add on to your structure or your house, or add on a garage, and you have an exterior wall of your house, well, then you add on an extension, and then you put a metal against that exterior wall. Well, you have two exterior walls, and if they're not tight, well, then you have a void space. And if they are tight, well, then you have good fire barrier. But any void space in there that fire can get, all it needs is a little air. That fire can travel through those void spaces just like it can travel through an interior wall of a residence or travel through an attic space. So that's what it did here. We had void spaces between the buildings, and which allowed airflow. And the interior of those buildings where those spaces are, that interior content caught fire. And with it packed all the way to the exterior walls and the exterior exits, we couldn't make entry to get into those interior walls. So we were fighting what the building, you know, there's nothing we could do at that point. So those are obstacles that you face when you walk into a residential structure that is packed out. Some people would say hoarded. I wouldn't. This gentleman says he was running a business out of here, so I wouldn't say hoarded. I would say it's, you know, he had his business stuff packed in there. So, but when it's packed to a level like that, it doesn't have walkways and pathways and egress established and secondary exits and secondary entrance points, then you're faced with what we were faced with today. So, you know, if it was a commercial building, there maybe could have been some other things in place, but this is residential, and he was running a business out of here, and you know, it's the things we face in the fire service. So luckily, no one was hurt. He was out of the home. And I know he did say one of the add-ons back there was an apartment at one point that he had transitioned into storage. So luckily, there wasn't anyone living in the home. Everybody got out. We haven't faced any injuries here, so that's a positive. Just, you know, some exhaustion and some IVs and facing Mother Nature. So
yeah, because the heat sneaks up on you.
Yeah, it's the humidity as well. Where, you know, it's 80 something degrees, but the humidity and you know, and then just the physical labor, and you put on bunker gear, your core body temperature. You add all those things in, it's a mixture for exhaustion.
So now, as far as these voids go, I guess the metal would just heat up and then maybe set the contents on fire.
Yeah, so once if you get a fire and then it's going through the interior portion, and then it's on the interior walls. Well, the interior walls, they add air supply and all of that. So when it's in there, you know, those spaces are fuel for the fire. You know, the fire needs different things. It needs a supply, it needs a fuel source, it needs oxygen, you know, it needs all of those things. And that void space offers oxygen and a fire flow. So fire can flow through heat, through radiant heat, and make its way through the other building that's there. It can make its way through just straight flame, and then so those are things that you are faced against.
So I guess the main goal was to just make sure it spread.
Yes, yeah. It was defensive and containment as quickly as possible while trying to save enough water and conserve enough water to protect the residential structure. So which was our primary focus once the fire load inside got so heavy that it was it was growing faster than we could put water on it. So
I guess, yeah, it's still smoking. What
It's
time
still-
did-
it's still-
What time did you guys get out?
we were deployed or dispatched out here at 9:07 a.m.
Wow.
Yeah, so we've been here a while. Yes, sir. So
Yeah, it's still smoking.
yeah, it's gonna smoke for a while. Residents here probably, even when we leave, it's gonna smoke. Some of it may rekindle. The fire load is extremely heavy, so we're gonna do everything we can, obviously, to make sure this scene's safe and the residents here don't have any